Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the flight sim world. This is Viperstrike 95, and today we are back with day number 32 of our around the world trip. We are officially back at Santiago, at Arturo Merino Benitez International Airport, one of the largest airport in Chile. And today we're here to do some high altitude flying today. We're actually going to be traveling up to Antofagasta today. This will be our last full flight into Chile. That's because next Friday we're going to actually be flying into Bolivia. Should be pretty exciting, but we got some pretty cool stuff here as well. So I hope you guys have currently enjoyed your guys' weekend. I hope you all have currently have a great weekend here. I'm doing quite well myself. So before we get started, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We have my trusty moderator, Super Typhon. Good to see you. And hello to all the lurkers in chat. Good to have you guys here. So today's flight plan, if you guys want to learn it, exclamation point route will give you the route details. But the route here is going to start us at Benitez International Airport in Santiago. Then we're going to fly up to over 20,000 feet. We're actually going to have an altitude climb of 20,000 feet for this one. That's because we're not just going to any mountain. We're going to the tallest peak in the Americas and probably the Western Hemisphere at Aconcagua. We're going to be checking out the tallest peak in the Americas. After that, we'll head to our first stop here at La Serena Airport, Sierra Charlie, Sierra Echo. We'll go there for our first stop. Then afterwards, we've got quite a bit of a longer leg. It's about 379 nautical miles. We will be flying it to Antofagasta, which is right over here. After flying over the city center, we'll make our way over to Sierra Charlie Foxtrot Alpha to conclude the flight for today. It's going to be 625 nautical miles, so it is going to be a bit longer than your normal flight, but thankfully we picked the perfect kind of plane for a flight like this. And I'm talking about the TBM 930. This would be my first stream with it, with the new update. But I think the TBM would be the perfect kind of plane for today's flight. It should it's the fastest one of the fastest single engine turboprops in the world. Beautiful aircraft. So basically, for those that don't know, it's part of the TBM line of planes produced by the aerospace company Socata. They make all sorts of products. It's part of the TBM series of planes that was first introduced back in 1988. This one in particular is the 930, which is featured a G3000 touchscreen avionics suite. But the TBM 900 can reach to a maximum speed of 330 knots, a cruise speed of 252 knots, in a range of over 1,700 nautical miles at high altitude. And it can take off within 2,300 feet of runway space. So, very capable business plane, fast, got great range. It's overall just a great business plane. So let's go ahead and get into the cockpit to get ready to start this TBM. I believe the TBM is going to get started pretty similarly to Yeah, here's our TBM, guys. Nice. Auto. Oh, right. Gotta turn on the inertial separator. Oh, right. TBM has been started. Okay. So the first altitude is going to be 20,000 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and set the altitude to around 20,000 feet. That will be the first leg of the trip. We'll be flying at 20,000 feet for most of the leg. So I'm very happy to be here, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend so far. So in terms of other stuff around the community, for this week, we got some pretty big news for the Flight Sim community, for MERS community, which I'm part of. We're going to be doing a volcano flight on Monday. We got Mount Vesuvius, which, if you guys aren't aware, Vesuvius was the volcano that did destroy the city of Pompeii. So that's going to be around Naples. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Oh yeah, and next Saturday, by the way, is going to be the D-Day commemorative flight. It's going to be the 80th anniversary of D-Day, which changed the course of modern history, and it certainly helped change the war in Europe. So I'm going to let you guys know about that. So we got some pretty big stuff coming up. As if you guys want to know what I've been doing lots of duty schedule stuff so I can catch up, because I've been trying to catch up still. I'm still a long ways behind MDA and the rest. I know there's the brand new duty schedule out, so I'm going to be doing that for Sydney, and that's going to be what I'm going to be doing for the next so here we go, taking off. Of course, the TBM doesn't need a lot of runway space. But I'm actually not going to head the runway first. I'm actually going to go ahead and circle around a bit so I can gain altitude. I'm going to go ahead and put the roll. And I'm going to gain at 2,500 feet above, 2,500 feet per second. That way, I can start gaining altitude. Because trust me, getting to Aconcagua is not easy. So, I'm going to work on gain altitude first. But the main reason we're doing this, though, is because, well, simply put, we're going to be at 20,000 feet, so I want to go ahead and take care. And that way we can climb up altitude, because I want to get as much altitude as we can before we get to our mountains. So we're going to be flying around Santiago and all that. We're going to be doing some circle around the airport, basically. I know it sounds weird, but it makes sense. So we're going to be going to Aconcagua first, so we're just going to climb pretty high up. So Aconcagua is actually going to be our first stop here for today's flight. This mountain is located in the principal Cordillera of the Andes mountain range. It is the highest mountain in the Americas, the highest outside of Asia, and the highest in both the western and southern hemispheres, with a summit elevation of 22,838 feet. It's located 70 miles northwest of the provincial capital of Argentina, the city of Mendoza, and it's one of the 7 summits of the 7 continents, along with Denali in North America, Vinson in Antarctica, Mount Blanc in Europe, Kilimanjaro in Africa, and you also have Elbrus. Then you have Mount Everest in Nepal, China, Nepal, Puncak Java, the highest peak in Indonesia, and finally Mount Kujeko in Australia, in the 7 traditional continents. But Aconcagua is bounded by the Valle de las Vacas to the north and east, and the Valle de Horcones in the west and south. It also has a number of glaciers, the largest of which is the Venisquero Horcones Inferior, which is about 6 miles long. There's also 2 other large glacier systems as well, around 3 miles long. And the common recent is the Polish glacier, and this is often to climb up the mountain. The first European to actually climb up this recorded ascent was in 1897 by Edward Fitzgerald. However, he didn't make it to the summit. The Swiss guy did. Matthias Zurbriggen actually reached the summit, becoming the first person to actually reach the summit of Aconcagua. The east side was actually scaled by a Polish expedition with Konstanty Narkiewicz, Joko, Stefan Jarzynski, Viktor Ostrowski, and Stefan Osicki in 1934, went through the east side of the summit. In 2020, the youngest person to ever reach the summit was Tyler Armstrong, California, when he was 9 years old, reached the summit. Yeah. But it's a very dangerous mountain. Over 100 people have died in the mountain since records began, as well as health hazards due to improper disposal of human waste. And according to the Incan religion, it's actually a sacred mountain by the Incan Empire. So beautiful mountain, and it's definitely was something we wanted to visit. We're in this part of Andes. Yeah, we're gonna stick to 20,000 for the rest of the trip. We're going to go ahead and turn off the initial separator. I think we're high enough. And I think she's dead out of us. Dude. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy how high we are. Here we are. Okay. We're at 20,000 feet now. Got to get that worked out on the altitude chart stuff. We're going to head to the mountain very shortly. So we will get plenty of screenshot stuff. This thing does go very, very quick. Yeah, one of the great things about the TBM is just it is very, very fast. So here's Aconcagua right ahead of us. It's the tallest peak in South America. Look at the views from up here, man. This is just incredible. Now, by the way, we did do this sort of flight a while back in this area. If you guys remember, we took the double ender, and we went from Mendoza, we went up to the road, and we did some iFollow Road stream, some IRR flying. And no, I'm not talking about instrument flight rules. It's I follow roads, and we follow that road down to Santiago and stuff. But that was an absolutely stunning flight through the mountains and stuff. Now we're going to be above many of the others, but hey, if conditions are good, you can see Cerro Vicha. Mendoza's around 340 kilometers. Ah, gotcha. Thank you, Typhon. Yeah, that's right. We are very, very close to here as well. Like, so here we are, guys. There's the peak. Okay, climb a bit. Got it. Okay. We're going to climb a bit, and we're going to go up to 22,000 feet. Yep, we're going to climb a bit. Now look at the state of this. Holy heck. I almost said holy $80 hockey sticks, but I'm not going to be saying that on stream. I'm trying to keep it safe for work. But holy goodness gracious. Man, what a stunning view. And what a view. This is just breathtaking. This is stunning. Incredible scenery. just look at this peak. Just absolutely insane. So there's the summit right there. Is Akonkagua's summit. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heading to 339 degrees. And that is the mountain. Aconcagua. Incredible peak. And we will be visiting other peaks like this too. We will also be checking out throughout the Andes. We'll check out the mountain Illimani. We'll also be checking out throughout the Lake Titicaca. And other peaks we'll be checking out on this journey. We'll be checking out Denali in Alaska. We'll be checking out at least all of the 7 summits. So we'll check out Denali. We'll also be checking out other mountains too, like Mount Fuji. Of course, there'll also be Camacho as well. We might check that out a little bit. Well, but we will be checking out the 7 summits. Pretty cool. Man, look at that bird view. Just incredible scene. Just absolutely incredible. So we will be heading in this direction for another 175 nautical miles. So we'll be heading our way over to there shortly. So guys, I wanted to ask you guys, I hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. If you guys had anything really fun or interesting in the weekend, I hope you guys had a good time. You had fun. So so I think I finalized next week's scheduling, but on Wednesday, I think I decided for Wednesday to be we'll be taking the 737 um 700. We'll be doing some Dublin Bristol shuttle ops. That's what I decided to do. I thought that would be pretty cool. Take the 700 for Dublin to Bristol, and then back to Dublin. I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that would be pretty cool. Plus, I mean, we get some interhub service. Or I could do Dublin to Bristol, and then Bristol to Cork, or to Cork. That would also be pretty cool too. Cork would be kind of fun. But I mean, there's a lot I can do. But I think it's going to be with Dublin to Bristol. And I will promise to get the scenery for Bristol as well. So I'll grab the Pilots Plus scenery for that. They said that's the best Bristol scenery. So I'll probably grab my hands on that. Hey, Filthy, good to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well, Filthy. We're heading to La Serena first. We visit the tallest peak in the Americas, Aconcagua, which is right behind us, actually. Right over here is Aconcagua, which is right in this area. We're headed to northern Chile today, and we're taking the good old TBM because I needed something with some speed. So, oh yeah, absolutely stunning. The mountains here are absolutely gorgeous, filthy. And this is just only the beginning. We'll also be checking out other mountains throughout the Andes. In fact, most of the flights within the next 2 weeks, I believe, for the next couple around the world days, will be in the Andes throughout all of this. So we're going to have some stunning mountainside scenery all along the trip. Because next Friday we'll be actually going back from Antofagasta. We'll make our way to Calama. Um, we'll be checking out one of the mines up there, Chuquicamata. We'll be checking out that mine as well on our way over to Bolivia, as well as the salt flats. We'll be checking that out as well, and then of course we're going to be going through the Santa Cruz de la Sierra on next Friday. Then after that, then next Sunday will be Santa Cruz to Cochabamba and then to La Paz. So we'll be checking out even more mountain scenery. And of course, that's going to continue on our way to Peru, and Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia. We'll be checking that out. So I wanted to ask you guys something else too. If you guys have enough interest, we could even take a short flight out to Easter Island if you guys want to. Now, I don't have notes for Easter Island prepared, sadly. I forgot to prepare those, but we can do a quick short flight around Easter Island if you guys have enough interest. Because some of the stuff is modeled into The Sims, mainly with so. So let's talk a little bit about Chile's transportation stuff. So in terms of transportation stuff, due to Chile's definitely pretty unique. It's mainly divided by road network. It's what mainly goes through a lot of Chile. The far south, however, is not directly connected to central Chile by road, unless you go through Argentina. You also have water transportation, and due to its geography, aviation is important as well. There's over 85,000 miles of highways in Chile. Um, and about 1/4 of it is paved. The rest is unpaved roads. A couple of highways through the area. Also, buses are now the main means of long distance transportation, as they replace the rail network. And it covers the whole entire country. In terms of ports, there's quite a lot of ports in the country, including Antofagasta, Arica, Puerto Montt, Punta Arenas, and Valparaiso. And of course, in terms of airports, there are 62 airports with paved runways in the country, with another 310 that are paved. And there's quite a few airlines mainly served here, but the most important airline of Chile is LATAM Airlines. Now, of course, the reason I didn't really talk about the other LATAM stuff is because well, they're actually subsidiaries. But the one we're talking about here today is the main LATAM Airlines. That's LATAM Chile. But this Chilean multinational airline is based in Santiago, one of the founders of its own airline group, the largest airline holding company in Latin America. Its main hub is at Arturo Benitez International in Santiago, with secondary hubs in Sao Paulo, Lima, Bogota, Quito, Guayaquil, and Asunción. It was the flag carrier of Chile until its privatization in the 1990s, and it's still the predominant airline in Chile, Ecuador, and Peru, and the second largest carrier in Colombia. And it's the largest airline in Latin America, serving Latin America, North America, the Caribbean, Oceania, Asia, and Europe. It was a member of the One World Airlines until 2020. But LATAM Airlines has a long history, dating all the way back to 1932, actually, when it was founded by Chilean Air Force Commodore Arturo Merino Benitez. Now, a bit of background information about him. He was actually born in Chillán, which is located in the Ñuble region, Chile. And he was born to a prominent Chilean family, raised in a household of 11 children, born to parents Pedro and Clarina. He then enrolled in the prestigious military school at Condes in Santiago, where he stood out as an exemplary cadet. Then he served a long career with aviation, and he's been and due to a recent aviation achievement crossing the Andes, he actually had a lot of interest in aviation, and he actually supported aviation over cavalry, as well as being influenced by military aviation for both civilian and military purposes. And due to Chile's geography, logistics, and communication, he think aviation would be really important, and he's had a long aviation history into Chile. That's why the airport's named after him. But he began operations as Linea Aeropostal Santiago Arica under the government of President Carlos Ibáñez de Campo, and later rebranded as Linea Aérea Nacional de Chile, the national airline of Chile, using LAN. Now, Benitez was a strong defender of Chilean carriers on domestic routes, which is different from most Latin American countries. Because of this, U.S. airplanes were more difficult to incorporate in the fleet, so they mainly got the French Pontes 56, as well as Junker Ju-86s into the fleet, as well as Ju-52s. However, with World War II, they added them with Lockheed Electras, and Lodestars were added to the fleet in the 1940s. After the war, LA and Chile became a member of IATA, and it started international services to Buenos Aires at Morón Airport in 1947 to Punta Arenas, Chile. In 1954, LA and Chile made history by being making history for being not the first commercial flight over Antarctica in a DC-6. And since then, all DC-6 were painted with the first over Antarctica. That's right, they were the first airline to make flights over, which is pretty insane to think about as an achievement. They actually flew in Antarctica. They actually departed in Punta Arenas with 8 crew members and 66 passengers, and they flew from there the South Shetland Islands and Adriatic Peninsula and returned back at 2 p.m. Which has still made history that they actually made it over Antarctica. Pretty crazy stuff. They also entered international services in 1966 and make their first flight over to Europe, as well as JFK and all that. And continue to grow their international network with all sorts of new destinations in the 60s. In 1974, an LA and Chile Boeing 747 flew by Captain Jorge Yarpa Reyes made the world's first ever transpolar nonstop flight between South America and Australia, which is pretty crazy to think about. All the way from Santiago over to from Punta Arenas to Kingsford Smith Sydney, which is a pretty massive achievement again for LATAM Airlines. Then in 1989, the Chilean government privatized the carrier, sold the stake to Icaro-san and Scandinavian Airlines, which later sold its stake to local investors to start the privatization of the airline. And then the airline continued to grow in the 90s and focus more on its subsidiaries. In 2004, its subsidiaries like Land Peru, Land Ecuador, Dominicana, in the Dominican Republic, and Alien Express became unified under the unique Land brand, and later changed its name, formal name as well, and then it became even more so. But the big part is the LATAM Airlines group. Since 2016, they operate now as LATAM. And basically, LATAM comes from Land Airline Chile, as well as a non-binding agreement for a merger with TAM Líneas Aéreas, which, by the way, was Latin America and Brazil and Latin America's largest airlines. So that's why LATAM got its name from. It's from a merger. But yeah, this is one of the America's most important airlines we know of. Ah yes, I forgot to check all this. Also, Sierra Peninsula is 353 kilometers and Sierra de Chepes 363 from Aconcagua site. Nice. Nice, Typhon, thanks for the information. Yeah, partly we're flying this high up across the mountains. Pretty crazy stuff. How far are we from? I guess we could start a set if you guys want to. We could descend even because we're going here really quickly. You do realize this TBM can go really quick. Let's. Oh yeah, 89 miles. We could actually descend right now. And that's even if you guys want to. We can actually. Las Serena's altitude. I guess we could descend. Okay, let's do 6,000 feet. That should give us more enough breathing room if we need to. But we're going to descend to 6,000 feet. Because we are about 80 nautical miles, so we're going to descend 6,000 feet. And we're going to go descend at... I need to slow down. We are going to descend because this is going to be a pretty quick flight. And then they also started their longest flight yet, Santiago to Melbourne. Yes, because again, Santiago's position means it can do flights from South America to Australia. Now, their destinations, they got a lot of domestic and international destinations. There are a ton of them. They actually operate in 30 international destinations in 16 countries, as well as 17 domestic in Chile. Their longest flight is from Santiago to Melbourne, which is about 15 hours. Westbound is 15 hours, which is pretty crazy. And again, and it also passes the Antarctic Circle. They're also opening up flights to Asia, from Santiago, Tel Aviv, via Sao Paulo, but they fly to a lot of destinations. But at least some of the destinations include domestically Puerto Montt, Antofagasta, Punta Arenas, and La Serena. And some international destinations include Sydney, Miami, Madrid, and London. They serve quite a bit, and their fleet is quite a wide variety of fleets. Currently, they operate 15 Airbus A319-100s, 73 A320-200s, 3 Airbus A360neos, 18 Airbus A321-200s, 1 A321neo. They're going to order 32 more of those. You're also going to get 5 A321XLRs, which is the extra long range variant of the A321. They have 3 737 7600 and 300ER. Some of them are going to be turned to freighters. 10 787-8 Dreamliners, and then 24 787 9s, with 15 more on order. And they got a wide range of forward planes. A318s, they used to have 15 A318s in the fleet, mainly used for domestic stuff, making them one of the only carriers to ever actually operate the A318, the baby Airbus, the A318. Making them one of the only few to actually have operated them during their time. As well as A330s, A340s. They used to have the A350s actually, but they retired them during the pandemic. They had to retire the A350. They also operate the 707s, 737s, Twin Otters, DC-6, of course. They operated their first long-haul stuff. Junkers J52s. They used to have one of the Junkers J52s. But they had a wide range of planes that LATAM used to operate. But yeah, this is a very important airline for sure for Latin America. But it's a very important airline for Latin America. So that's why I wanted to cover LATAM Airlines. They are a very important part of Latin America. So if I'm being honest, if we ever get a third South America hub, I would like to have it in Santiago. That would be a perfect spot, honestly. Because if you guys were aware, I mean, Friday's flight, I mean, that was absolutely beautiful. And that wasn't even the fjords. It was the mountain ranges. There were some really beautiful spots flying. I know there have already been a few other VAs there, but I mean, it's a beautiful airport. So, beautiful stuff. Should definitely check it out. Well, 6,000 feet would be. really cool stuff. So yeah, beautiful flight so far today. I mean, what an incredible. Just stretching. Gotta stretch. So we're gonna visit La Serena, Chile. Now, this port city is the capital of the Coquimbo region. It is the country's second oldest city, and after Santiago, founded back in 1544. Population around 200,000 people, one of the fast-growing areas in the country. It's an important tourist destination for both Chileans and Argentines during the summer when people visit the beaches. Um, you can also find um, um, quite a few really cool stuff. There's lots of really cool architecture that was built in the 1940s, late 40s, early 50s. Playing Serena, and they basically restored the old city and stuff. tons of really beautiful buildings and stuff all across the city. It has a neo-colonial architectural styles by preserving old buildings as well. It's a beautiful city and got plenty of things to do. Tourism is a big deal thanks to all of its beaches, festivals, fashion week, lots of historical stuff as well. I mean, this is definitely a beautiful place to visit. Sure. And our main airport is La Florida Airport. Is the main airport serving La Serena. In 1951, Captain Roberto Singer took his plane from La Florida Airport and landed on Easter Island the next day, becoming the first ever flight ever to Easter Island, which is, by the way, Easter Island, that's quite a long flight, over 2,000 miles. Which is a pretty insane achievement as well. So, pretty cool stuff. So here are guys. We'll be heading to there very, very shortly. We'll be reaching the airport very, very shortly. So here we are, guys. We're not far at all, and here's La Serena. Here's the beautiful port sea to our left. So for this next altitude, we're going to be climbing up to, we're going to go back to 20,000 feet again. And we'll make our way to Antofagasta. We're going to stay around the coast for this next one. That's because next week we're going to be doing some real high altitude stuff. Next week we're going to continue doing that next week. So, beautiful stuff. So here it is, Coquimbo in La Serena. Beautiful airports. So once we stop here at La Serena, we'll get a quick break and prepare for the longer of the two flights. We'll keep flying our way up to and what a really nice start. What a nice way to start the stream, for sure. I'll also be turning on the inertial separators. I'll also be turning the separator back on. The inertial separator, we'll turn that back on. Yeah, some beautiful stuff going on today. This has been absolutely incredible fun. here is the Save Lost Arena. Turn to the left. Here we go, guys. First leg of the trip is done. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna reset back to 20,000 feet. We'll just stop. We'll just stop right here. We'll just stop right here. So we'll stop here for a short break. We will return back. If you guys want to join on in, we'll just take a quick break. If you guys want to join on in for this flight, we're on the Southeast Asian server, and we're if you have a TBM, that's great. Everyone should get TBM. It's one of the base edition planes. The King Air also works too. So okay, so our next flight is going to be 391 nautical miles. So this one's going to be about an hour and 15 or something minutes. So let's get ahead and get ready to get going. If you guys want to join on in, we're going to go ahead and taxi back. Our heading is going to be 7 degrees. Heading is 7 degrees. The nice thing about the TBM is does not need it's famous. It does not need that much of a runway. 2,000 feet is enough to take off with this. So there, and we're off. So we're back up in the air again. Here we go, everyone. Back up in the sky. going to be climbing up to 20,000 feet once again. Yeah, you got the beautiful Pacific coast. I mean, the scenery here is just really nice. So absolutely incredible view. So yeah, we're gonna talk more about Chile's culture and stuff, but I want to get to cruise altitude first at 20,000 feet. I want to get to that altitude first. But man, look at the scenery here today, man. we're going to be climbing up to 20,000 feet. So the next sort of slides are going to be about the culture Chile. So I'm going to have to wait until we get high enough, because obviously there isn't too many slides about the culture Chile. So I want to space it out a bit. So yeah, a bit of other news I want to cover. For sports news, the Florida Panthers of the NHL have made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. For the second straight year, Florida's back in the Stanley Cup. And if Edmonton were to win Game 6 today, they would be in the NHL Stanley Cup. So we'll have a team from Canada in the finals. So maybe this could be the first time a Canadian team might win Stanley Cup since '93. It'd be pretty insane if that were to happen. If the Oilers win the Cup, that is. In terms of other sports news, for baseball, well, for Major League Baseball as well, this is the sport I know of. The Yankees are now cleanly the best team in the American League, with the best record, 41 wins. The Rays are second to last, unfortunately. They have not done well the last 10 games. As well, the Mariners lead the West. The Rangers, Astros are picking up back at third, and the Angels are last. They're entering a rebuild. The AL Central, the Guardians are still the best team in the Central Division, though the Royals and Twins are still pretty much neck to neck, and the White Sox are absolute garbage. In the National League, the Phillies have now won the East, especially with Acuna's injury. It's definitely going to be the Phillies division, and probably their pennant to lose. They've been absolutely dominant, especially at home. They're 24-8 at home. Like, no wonder they are so dominant at home. So definitely great. The Marlins are not very good. They're last still. Oh yeah, the Mets spent all that money and they're now fourth in the division. Then the NL Central, it is the Brewers who are the best team in the division. The Cubs are 6.5 back. The Cardinals are 7 games back. The Pirates are 8, and the Reds are 10 games back. And then the West, the Dodgers are the best team, followed by the Padres, Giants, Diamondbacks, and Rockies. So, pretty big deals for a lot of us going forward. I'm going to go ahead and flatten it to 500 feet per minute. Can pick up a little bit of speed. So yeah, in terms of other stuff, I do want to talk about, one of the really cool things about, so far I've been really enjoying my time here in this series. Chile has been absolutely gorgeous, beautiful area to fly in both the sim and in real life. So it's been a really beautiful area. I know I haven't been to Chile, but it's been a beautiful place in the sim. I gotta say, in terms of natural scenery, Chile is probably my favorite so far. Chile's been great to fly over. Got to see so many really cool. They're about 20,000 feet, so we're about at cruise altitude. So finally up to 20,000 feet. So I have some pretty exciting stuff to talk to you guys about. So if you guys don't recall, I actually completed. I'm actually going to be going next year to the United Kingdom. So I think I have a plan for next year's European trip. So I think we might have a plan for that. But I think we picked out what we were doing with our port cities and stuff for each of the ports. So I got to actually pick the excursions for next June's trip to the United Kingdom. So I finally got that picked out. So but the thing I picked out was so here's what we picked out for each of the days. So starting at Cork, or we port at Cobh. Um, we're going to do Blarney Castle for Cork. Oh, really? A German Air Force 8400. Oh, yeah. Those turboprops are very loud, by the way, Typhon. So we picked Blarney Castle for Cork. So Cork is going to be our first city. So that's what we picked for. Um, we picked Blarney Castle for that one. That was something we all decided as a group, and we picked Blarney Castle, the most famous attraction in Ireland. Then after Blarney, then apparently afterwards we'll be also checking out the town. I asked who told Murphy about what to do in Cork for the day, and he said you should definitely check out the port town of Cobh. They got a Titanic experience there. They got lots of shops, and they even got their own little cathedral up there too. Um, he said it's a beautiful town. So that's what we're going to be doing on our first port. for next June. Afterwards is going to be Liverpool. The good news is well, we're doing that one on our own because while there were some really interesting excursions, most of the areas that are worth visiting for us, thankfully, are not far from the port, like the World Liver Building, the Titanic Memorial, the Beatles statue, the Museum of Liverpool is going to be right within walking distance of the cruise port. So no need to do an excursion. In terms of other stuff, I also hopefully as well, next year when they get I might also find a way to do a tour of Everton Stadium, which is the brand new stadium for Everton FC. The Toffees, they're gonna get that thing built, and it's gonna be right next to the dock. I know Anfield would be super cool to visit. Would be Anfield, which is Liverpool FC's stadium, and I would still like to visit it. Though I think having the Liverpool Everton Stadium is going to be a lot closer to us. Um, yeah, that one is about it's for a car ride. It's only 4 minutes of a car ride. It's only a 4 minute ride to the new Everton Stadium versus Anfield, which is a 13-minute drive. So it's going to be much shorter and easier to get to Everton Stadium than Anfield. So don't get me wrong, Anfield would be amazing. I would love to visit both. I would like to visit both, honestly, because if I'm going to be in the UK, I want to check out the two famed football venues. Because Anfield is old school. It's one of the most prestigious soccer stadium, soccer slash association football stadiums in all of Europe. On the other hand, you have Everton Stadium, which is basically cutting edge, state of the art. You get two completely different things as well. But we're gonna do that. But we're gonna be basically doing the Liverpool stuff on our own because you got the Royal Albert Dock, you have the different museums and stuff. So that would be what we're gonna be doing on our own, which I think would be a lot of fun. I'm very excited to check out Liverpool. So for Glasgow's excursion, wait, let me put up. Yeah, I need to put. So here's what I was talking about. I want to show you guys the map. So and hopefully we'll check out Everton Stadium, the new facility. So it is, I mean, 4 minute drive from the cruise port, which is very short. So we might do cruise port, do that. Once we visit the docks, do that, and then do a stadium tour over to Everton. Versus Anfield, which is Liverpool's FC Stadium, that's a 13-minute drive. So it is much easier to get to Everton Stadium than it is with Anfield. If I had to pick only one, I guess I could do Everton just because it is closer. So afterwards, we are now doing in Belfast. So just like Liverpool, we're going to be doing that on our own because they do offer shuttle services from the port to downtown, from the cruise port to downtown Belfast. And we'll just explore around the area like the City Hall, Victoria Square Shopping Mall, the Albert Memorial Clock. We'll be checking out some of Belfast on our own. And of course, hopefully we get our way to the Titanic Museum. So we'll be doing Belfast on our own for that one. So that's what we're going to be doing on our own. Then afterwards is Glasgow. We picked another excursion for Glasgow, and we're doing the best of the Scottish Highlands, I believe. I believe it's going to be the best of the Scottish Highlands, which is this one. Or is it yeah, I think it's the best of Scottish Highlands, which is going to go Loch Lomond as well as Inverary Castle. So we'll be checking out, I think it's going to be Loch Lomond. We're going to have a view stop. We're going to check Inverary Castle for about an hour, and then we'll check out Loch Lomond as well. So it should be absolutely beautiful there. Scotch High. I know it's expensive, but I mean, this is a once in a lifetime trip. We want to do something we want to do. So they picked that excursion. Orkney Islands. We picked an excursion. We did the Rock of Brognar. So that's what we did in Kirkwall. So we're gonna go North Island. We picked that one. Yes, that's way up there in Scotland. Then for Invergordon, I think we took, or maybe for the best of Scotch Highlands, we might do Inverness. I don't know, maybe we did the best Scottish Highlands in Inverness, which we go to Ukehart Castle, Loch Ness, and all that. I think that's what maybe that's the one. Wait, I need to log in for a bit. Let me go ahead and let me get my. Okay. Here's what we. Okay. Let me do this one. Okay. Here it is. So this is the excursions we picked actually. So we picked Flaherty Castle for us. Okay, for Glasgow we're actually doing Colzian Castle and Ayr. That's what we're doing for Glasgow. We did Colzian Castle, which is this one at 9 a.m. So we'll be on a full day adventure to Colzian Castle, check out the coastal road for Fifth Clod, in the ruins of Dunmere Castle, and we'll check out Bane Castle, designed by during the reign of King George III, and visit the quaint town for Scottish wool and stuff. So the drive is gonna be 1 hour, 1.5 hours each way, and we'll visit Colzian Castle. Which is this castle. Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. It was built, it was actually built in during the late 18th century. So it'd be a really cool area. And it's used by quite a few films and stuff. So that's what we're doing for Glasgow. We did the Ring of Brogar, Scanterbury, and Skell House. Invergordon, we did the best of Scottish Highlands for Invergordon, which we visit Loch Ness and all that. So that one is so we did that one. So we did Invergordon, which is basically got Loch Ness, Ukehart Castle, Cawdor Castle. So we're gonna check out 2 castles and Loch Ness as well. So it should be a very nice trip. So it should be really fun. For Edinburgh, we're going to be doing stuff on our own because there is bus stop services from Edinburgh to the Royal Mile, and we'll do our own day in Edinburgh. So we'll be checking out. I don't think we're going to tour Edinburgh Castle. That's because it is super busy during this time. If you know anything about Edinburgh, it's very busy. So um, we might get to be around the perimeter and take pictures, but I don't think we're going to be in the castle because if you know anything, it's going to be very busy that time of year. Because for some reason, when we scheduled the cruise, like it was the only time my dad could work out the schedule, but it's going to be super busy. So we're just going to probably take exterior pictures of the castle. But after that, we'll be going through possibly to the National Museum of Scotland. And then we might go our way through the Royal Mile in Old Town. So we might go through Old Town in the Royal Mile. And then we'll check out the Scottish Parliament building and of course Holyrood House Palace and the Abbey too. So we'll check that out as well during our time in Edinburgh. And finally, our last excursion we picked out is going to be the Normandy landing beaches for our stop in France, and we're doing the Normandy beaches. That's what we're doing because after much discussion, debate on what to do with Paris, we couldn't really go Paris because we wouldn't have much time in Paris, so we had to do the D-Day Normandy landings. That's what we decided to do. So we get to visit 2.5 hours each way, but we got to at least go with the guide tour the museum and visit the American Cemetery. And my family does have a relative that is buried in the American Cemetery for his service in World War II. He's one of the ones buried in the cemetery. And we'll have a photo stop at Omaha Beach. So that's what we're going to be doing and return back to the ship. So yeah, that's going to be what we're going to be doing for our trip. We're still waiting on there's two things we're mainly waiting for. Number one, the main thing we're going to be waiting for the vacation is going to be the plane tickets. If we can get good deals on our flight to London from Cincinnati, because Cincinnati is the closest airport to us that flies to London is Cincinnati. So we'll have to wait to get tickets then. So we'll have to wait for Cincinnati to get tickets, and then finally, and the other thing we're looking at is the reason we do plane tickets is because we're going to at least spend a day in London, because obviously to get used to the time zone change, because it's going to be the most extreme time zone change previously. Before, the craziest was when we did the Alaska trip, like we had to change time zones 3 times from Central to Mountain to Pacific. But this one, it's going to be like 5 hours time difference. So we definitely want to get used to that. And 2, I mean, it's London. What are you expecting it to be? It's London. I mean, you're definitely going to want to spend a day in London. So I picked out some places I'm going to be interested in for London. I want to wait to see what my mom's picked, and we'll go from there. But I mean, there's so many places to check out as well. And I've already got a few things in my bucket list. Obviously, there's already a lot of airports. I mean, I've already put some few places I've been wanting to check out for a day in London. So I did the Tower of London, I think the British Museum, the Tower Bridge, Westminster Abbey. I did Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, House of Parliament, St. Paul's Cathedral. There's also Kensington Gardens and Palace, which is an absolutely beautiful area. And you get the Royal Museum and State Residence there. That should be beautiful to visit. Chelsea FC. The reason I did Chelsea FC instead of that is it's not far from downtown London, and that if I couldn't do Everton Stadium or Anfield, I still want to check out a football venue from the United Kingdom, and I thought Stamford Bridge would be a really cool place to check out at Chelsea. Should be pretty cool to visit. And then I also did add a few other military places: the Imperial War Museum in London, the HMS Belfast, and the RAF Museum in London. In the war rooms of Churchill, also are included there too. But some of this stuff is my interest, and some of these are very obvious places we're going to be visiting. So, yeah, that's kind of what I picked for the trip, for us to visit. Man, look at the views. This is great. Now, mind you, if you guys actually stuck around for the notes for the geography of Chile, the further north you go to Chile, the more desertous it gets. And we're not too far from the Atacama Desert. We're not very far from it at all, which is one of the driest places on Earth. Like, it does not get rain at all. So, you do not get much rain at all. The other thing I'm waiting on, of course, is the plane tickets as well. And that's important because if we have a really late departure time out of London, I might look for a post-cruise excursion into London. Probably either Stonehenge or Windsor would be one of the two we'd be checking out as well. Hey, Tarsh Mossmate, good to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well, Tarnish. We're heading to Antofagasta today. I was just going over some of the plans for my next year's vacation. So that's what I'm going over. That's what I was talking about earlier. Since I will be visiting the UK earlier. So I picked out what place we're going to be visiting in the United Kingdom, Tarnish. So picked out some really cool places in the UK. Oh yes, I am indeed coming to Liverpool, Tarnish. Yes, I am. I'm going to Liverpool. Liverpool's one of the itinerary stops. Yes, Tarnish, I'm going to be into Liverpool. I'm going to be at the Liverpool. I'm going to mainly be checking out the dock area of Liverpool. We didn't pick any excursions for it, so we decided to stay around the dock area. So it's going to be like the Royal Liver Building, the Royal Albert Dock, and maybe, just maybe, if I can find a way to make it work, I might do a stadium tour of Everton's new football stadium in Everton for the Everton Football Club, because I definitely want to check out a Premier League facility, because obviously for you guys in the UK, especially in England, basically the Premier League is to England what the NFL is to the United States. It's the main sports league. So I really do want to check out a Premier League stadium. I know Anfield's another one we could visit too, but Anfield's a bit more of a drive. Not impossible, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know if Anfield could work with us. I'll have to discuss later, but I really do want to check out one of the football grounds. Yeah, the new Everton stadium. It's brand new on the dock. It's gonna open in 25, which is gonna be pretty cool. That means I'm gonna have to. But yeah, I'm very excited to check out Liverpool. That's one of the places I'm very interested in checking out. But no, it's a dream trip for my mom but it's mainly my mom who wanted this trip since she's been wanting to visit Scotland. Um, so, um, so we're going to be visiting like 4 destinations in Scotland: Glasgow, Kirkwall, Inverness, and Edinburgh. So we got 4 stops in Liverpool plus Cork, Liverpool, Cork, Liverpool, and Le Havre, France are going to be some of our other stops. So we got plenty of stuff planned for the trip. Though if I ever did get that Everton gear, I know Kingsman and Murphy may not gonna like that gear if I wear the toffees. I actually did research about that. I know the Liverpool Everton rivalry is usually the friendly derby, but it's pretty tense. So, as with a lot of stuff in Europe, it can get quite intense. But yeah, I'm really interested. Definitely very. But yeah, and I've already got me plans for the rest of the trip. As well. Like, Cork, we'll be checking out Blarney Castle, which is the most visited tourist attraction in Ireland. Is Blarney Castle. So we'll be checking out the medieval castle there, and of course, Two-Tone Murphy suggested this, but we check out the port town of Cobh. He said this is a very picturesque town. So maybe we got the cathedral, the Titanic experience, and of course, a lot of the shopping around the streets. Should be absolutely gorgeous for that. So, then in Glasgow, we're gonna do one of the castles there. Oh yeah, I can't wait for it. That's the trip I'm most excited for because I've always wanted to visit Europe. Because like I said, I want to visit Europe. My mom wants to visit Scotland, and so does my sister. So, hey, I mean, it worked out. All we have to do is just wait for tickets. We have to wait for the plane tickets to come out, get a good deal on that, and also got to plan out the day for London because we're gonna have a day in London. So we'll have to find what places would be interested. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That is the #1 trip I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I'm glad to get everything nearly picked out. So that's great. We took care of it. Yep. In terms of some of the stuff, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about Chile's culture since we're here. So Chile's culture is quite diverse. Chile's culture has gone through some beginnings. It reflects the population isolation of the country compared to the rest of South America. Since colonial times, the Chilean culture has been a mix between Spanish colonial elements with elements of indigenous culture and other immigrants. And is both geographically and culturally diverse, with both the North and South having their own types of music and dance due to the different indigenous people. There's also lots of other European influences like English, French, and German influence, especially German migrants, because they brought a lot of their architecture and cuisine in the southern part of Chile. They brought a lot of German migrants to it. A lot of German settlers settled in southern Chile. So that's why there's a lot of German culture influence into that part of Chile. In terms of music, Chile's music has a pretty wide range. From folklore to popular to classical music, and its large geography generates different musical styles in different parts of the country, not just the north, south, and center, but also in the Eastern Island, indigenous Mapuche music. The national dance of Chile is the cueca. Basically, the cueca is a family of music styles and dances. It's a national dance in Chile. Apparently, it's mostly have Spanish and indigenous influences. And basically, it tries to reenact the story of a rooster and a hen. And it has quite a bit of long history as well, dating all the way back to the 1840s. Pretty cool stuff. Outside of that, though, from the 50s to 70s, native folk musical forms were revitalized with the Nueva Canción Chilena movement, led by composers like Violeta Parra and Pedro Basson, which is involved with political activists and reformers. There's also Chilean rock bands like Los Javides, Los Prisioneros, and Los Bunkers have reached international success with their music, incorporating strong folk influences, as well as making it part of their music. Oh yeah, yeah, we're gonna visit Kirkwall as one of the islands. Is Kirkwall should be nice. Kirkwall should be really nice. In terms of Chilean literature, it is a country of poets, including Gabriel Mistral, the first Latin American to receive a Nobel Prize in Literature in 1945. She's one of two Nobel Prize recipients in literature, because the other one is its most famous poet, Pablo Neruda. He's world renowned for his extensive library of works on romance, nature, and politics. He also has 3 highly personalized homes in Isla Negra. Santiago and Valparaiso are popular tourist destinations with a lot of for Chileans. And there are a lot of other Chilean poets like Carlos Peroza Vélez, Vicente Huidobro, González Rojas, and Raul Zurita. The best-known Chilean novelist is Isabel Allende, who had over 51 million novels sold. And one of the most strong works it is actually written by a Chilean during the 20th century, is Jose Donoso's The Obscene Bird of Night. It's considered by critic Harold Boone to be one of the canonical works of 20th century Western literature. So Chile definitely has a lot of great poets and a lot of great novelists and writers. Got a long history of it. So definitely something to keep in mind. Of course, then we have Chilean cuisine, and it stems from both Spanish cuisine, Chilean Mapuche culture, and local ingredients, with other influences, mainly German, British, and French cuisine. And they're notable for a wide variety of flavors and ingredients, and with its diverse geography and climate, hosting a wide range of products, fruits, and vegetables. There's also seafood as well, due to its relationship with the ocean. And they're also one of the world's leading wine producers. So, in fact, the confection, the dulce de leche, was actually invented in Chile, and one of its most important contributions to world cuisine. Basically, dulce de leche is like basically prepared by slowly heating sugar and milk over several hours, and it's a very popular thing as well. Uh, in terms of major cuisines, it's separated by the three major product regions from north, south, and um, in the central part. So in northern Chile, it's inspired by the Andean cultures and the Chaco people, and traditionally high in protein, as well as the use of tubers like apela or uluco are pretty common. Some of the recipes from northern Chile is asado, um, llama stew, charo, which is llama stew, manchas a la parmigiana, which is basically shellfish, cooked in the oven with Parmesan cheese and condiments, usually as an appetizer. And cazuela marina, which is stew with different types of seafood, such as razor clams, oyster, and shrimp. So, um, in the central part is mainly influenced by the native people, European immigrants, and there are some very famous dishes, including the pastel de choclo, which is layered pie with chopped beef at the bottom, prepared with thick stew, and more of like a pie. There's the humitas, similar to Mexican tamales. And of course, the charquian, which is a stew of dried beef with potatoes, corn, and other vegetables from central Chile. And then from the south is influenced by Mapuche cuisine, as well as German cakes and stuff. And one of the big parts of southern Chile is the condiment mercan, made of dried and smoked red chilies and coriander, and used to season a lot of dishes. They make chupe, which is rich stew, made with Chilean abalone bread. And one of the oldest dishes in Chilean cuisine, Valdiviano, which is made of jerky, onions, and potatoes, and was used a lot by the Spanish conquistadors. So they have a lot of dishes. There's also some from Easter Island, like ceviche and cassava cake. So they got lots of pretty notable stuff. But yeah, basically Chilean cuisine's quite diverse. Tons of different foods and items as well. So Chile definitely has a lot going for it in culinary contribution. And then finally in sports, is sports. Sports in Chile. The most popular sport in Chile is, of course, association with football or soccer. And they appeared in Chile. The national teams appeared in 9 FIFA World Cups, including hosting the 1962 FIFA World Cup, where the national team actually finished third in the World Cup. Other results include 2 Copa America titles in 2015 and 2016, 2 runner-up positions, 1 silver and 2 bronze medals in the Pan American Games, a bronze medal in the 2000 Summer Olympics as well. And the top league of Chilean football is the Chilean Premier Division, and it's actually considered to be the 9th strongest national football league in the world, as it's one of the top football leagues. And their 2 main football clubs domestically are Colo Colo, University de Chile, Club Universidad de Chile, and Universidad Católica, with Colo Colo being the most successful club, having both the most national and international championships. But the most successful sport in Chile is tennis. Its national team has won the World Cup played tournament twice, in the Davis Cup in 1976 against Italy, and they even captured the golds and bronze in men's single and gold and double during the 2004 Olympics. Chile has been quite a successful tennis nation for tennis. The country's national sport is rodeo, and it's practiced in more rural areas of the country is rodeo, and it's the national sport in Chile. So, and believe it or not, the Dakar Rally is actually now hosted in Chile and Argentina since 2009, and that's due to the fact Dakar is no longer safe in Mauritania. So that basically wraps up culture of Chile. That wraps things up a bit. We still got some fun facts cover and the city of Antofagasta. So we'll be checking that out later on. I mean, just look at the scenery here, guys. This is just breathtaking. I mean, it's hard to, like, this is 20,000 feet, but you still get lots of scenery here. My goodness. Man, this scenery is fantastic. And it's unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Man, this is incredible. Scenery. The scenery here is just superb. Just incredible scenery. This is breathtaking. Awesome stuff, guys. This is what I like about The Sims so much. I mean, you can go anywhere in the world and check out some amazing scenery. I don't think it gets much better than this. And mind you, we're still in Chile. But basically, if you guys want to know next week's streams, for next week, we will be back on Wednesday, back in Dublin. We'll be doing some services from Dublin over to Bristol. We'll do another shuttle service. We'll do some air hub service between Dublin and Bristol. We'll be doing that in the 737-700 for that one. And after that, we'll be doing some, on Friday, we'll be back in Antofagasta, and we'll head our way over to Bolivia. We'll do one of the 2 flights in Bolivia. And that's because next Sunday, we'll be back at Santa Cruz de la Sierra, and we'll make our way over to La Paz, Bolivia, at El Alta, which is the highest commercial airport, the highest international airport outside of China. So it should be a really nice, should be some very nice streams. And they're both really high altitude stuff. We got a lot of high altitude operations for the next couple of streams is high altitude. Great stuff. man, the scenery is just incredible so far. I mean, at 20,000 feet, we got some great scenery. I mean, just look at the coast. I mean, just look at the coastline, man. That's just gorgeous down there. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to start descending down to... I guess we're going to descend down to 5,500 feet. Actually, we're going to descend down to 6,000 feet. I'm going to go ahead and put it down to 1,500 feet. Some incredible stuff here. So we'll be going on this way for about another 107 nautical miles. We're just 107 nautical miles away from our final destination at Antofagasta. So let's go ahead and talk about our final stop here. We're going to be doing some fun facts about Chile, of course. The driest desert in the world is the Atacama Desert, which average rainfall is about 0.6 inches a year. That's right, it does not rain in that part of the world, the Atacama Desert. Now, if you wonder why the heck is Atacama Desert so dry, Basically the reason why this area is so dry. Basically the reason this area is so dry is due to the fact there's actually a couple of reasons for that aridity and dry. For one, um, um, there's a couple of good reasons. It's because of the rise of the Andes. This area was always a bit desert, but it was thanks to the Andes, and it's so arid that areas are actually basically free glaciers. Mountainous area are basically free from glaciers. You know, but despite all that, though, there is still wildlife there. As there's about a rich variety of flora and animals. But yeah, this area gets a lot of as well. Another fun fact about Chile is it's home to the world's biggest swimming pool at San Alfonso del Mar Resort. Stretches to the size of 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools in 66 million gallons of water. Which is a massive swimming pool. Though that's no longer the case nowadays. The largest swimming pool is actually in Egypt now. The Sea Stars Sharm El Sheikh. And that's actually west of Santiago. So, and finally, the last fact is that the world's oldest mummies were actually found here in Chile. The Chinchorro mummies were discovered in Cameron's Valley and dated back to, get this, 5050 BC. That's right, mummies were found here pretty early. I mean, how crazy is that for sure? So yeah, these are the fun facts about Chile. It's just absolutely breathtaking to the. So we're going to be to Antofagasta today. So Antofagasta will be our final stop in Chile today. This port city, by the way, is located here in northern Chile. Is the capital of its own province and region, and population of 402,000 people. Making this one of the largest cities in Chile. After the Spanish Wars of Independence, this area was claimed by Bolivia. However, it was captured by Chile after the War of the Pacific, and it became part of Chile after the terms of the 1904 treaty. The city has been closely linked to mining activity thanks to being a major port and chief service hub for one of its major mine areas, with silver and saltpeter mining have been important, which is saltpeter basically is potassium nitrate. Since the 19th century, it's actually been copper has been the most important mining activity in this region, fueling a steady growth of construction, retail, and hotel accommodations, population growth, and a remarkable skyline development, and has also been a service hub for lithium mining. It has the highest GDP per capita in the country, with $37,000 per GDP per capita, and the third place highest human development index after Santiago and the Maginelles region. But it actually dates all the way back to 1868. So pretty cool stuff. There are a few landmarks around this area. There's the Mano di Deserto, which is the remote hand of the desert, a 36-foot hand coming out of the desert floor created by Chilean sculptor and artist Mario Irrazabal. It's outside of the city, but it's still definitely worth visiting for sure. After this, it would be... Oh, we got traffic? Who's flying along with us? Oh my gosh, it's Tarnish Mossman. He's with us. I was wondering who that traffic was. It was Tarnish. Good to see you, my dude. Good to see you, Tarnish. But yeah, today has been absolutely gorgeous here in Chile. And I really do love flying in this country. It's great. You got Andes, desert in the north. You got your central valleys, with its own coast and all that. And then you got the fjords and glaciers. You basically have something for everyone here in Chile. It's absolutely. So welcome in, all I do. So another landmark here at Antofagasta is the La Portada. Now this is the natural landmark off the coast. If the hand out of the desert is an artificial landmark, then let's go somewhere a bit more natural. And that landmark is La Portada. This natural landmark here at Antofagasta is just outside of the coast. And this arch is created by wind, spray, and waves. And it created this unique jag line, and that can be reflected throughout the entire city as well. In fact, we will be flying over the La Portada on our way to the airport. And the last landmark is the Huacha Ruins Museum, is where actually the city was built around, was the old ruins. And these are old mining ruins, which a lot of people forget. This is where a lot of the mining and stuff took place here in this region. So yeah, guys, and finally, our last slide is Andres Ceballos Galvez, which is the main airport serving Antofagasta, and its destinations include Santiago, Concepcion, La Serena, Cali, and Lima, are the main destinations serving this airport. So yeah, that's it, everyone. That is the last slides about Chile. Um, so I don't have the F-35, unfortunately, so I don't. ICCs again. Thanks for coming along, Tarnish. Really appreciate having you showing up here today. Always appreciate the company. Seven. Yeah, this area is just insane. It just shows you how much diversity in geography Chile really has. Chile is just such a remarkable place to fly. I think it's so far been my favorite. Chile's been such a great, it's been such a great area for me to fly. I wonder what Bolivia is going to be like. Bolivia is going to be pretty nice too. I know we're not going to spend nearly as much time in Bolivia. Not nearly as long to get through, so we're going to descend down to. We're going to be basically descending down to 1,500 feet. And we're going to go ahead and turn towards the city. So guys, thank you all so much for coming here today. I hope you guys enjoyed this flight. Yeah, we'll be back on Wednesday for Bristol service. So, beautiful stuff. Internal inertial separator. That. And here's the city of Antofagasta, right on the coast. I mean, this is just stuff. I really love this flight to Chile. Yeah, if you guys weren't here earlier, we actually started back in Santiago. We went up through to the tallest mountain in the Western Hemisphere, Aconcagua, which is over 22,000 feet high. We had to actually fly the TV all the way to that altitude just to get to the mountain. Then we stopped at La Serena, and now we're ended up back into Antofagasta. Just basically almost a near straight line path. But we did want to stay out there because we wanted to check out the city. So here it is, guys. Here is the city. So yeah, hopefully soon we get the 777. That's what I've been waiting for. I hope we get the 777 soon. I want to do some flying. I've been also looking at the VATSIM stuff. I'm still need to get back to it. It's just I've been busy trying to work on my notes. Go guys. I mean, what a beautiful scene. We'll get land here soon, and we'll go ahead and wrap up the stream. I mean, this has been an absolutely stunning flight. But yeah, we're still getting started on the series, though. We still got a long... Yep. Here's the La Portola National. There's La Portola right there, and there's the airport. Antofagasta. We'll land there, and we'll just park. But I mean, the scenery here is just absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous scenery here today, Antofagasta. Yeah, next week we'll be taking some more high altitude stuff. Next one we're going to be going up to 20,000 feet for the next leg. We'll be going to 20,000 feet next leg because we're going to be going from to insanely high altitude. No joke. And what a nice flight. Oh, that's... Yep, we're going to go ahead and park. And that wraps up today's stream, guys. This has been a near perfect landing, about very close to my prediction. Very smooth landing. Couldn't ask for nothing more, nothing less than that. Here's the airliner stuff. It will be just. And we got guys are in. Here's the taxi. And there we go, guys. That wraps up our final flight into Chile, guys. I mean, what an absolutely amazing flight here. So, guys, a massive thank you to everyone here on this beautiful flight into Chile. I hope you guys enjoy this flight. I mean, this was stunning. I mean, the mountain scenery, and then once you get down to the north, you got all the beaches and stuff. Oh, man, that is what a beautiful day. So, guys, we will be back on Wednesday in Dublin. We'll be doing some inter-hub service between Dublin and Bristol. So we'll be doing that on Wednesday. As for this journey, we'll be back next Friday, and we'll head up to Bolivia at Sierra de la Cruz. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to go ahead and say hello to our dear friend Kaharia. Make sure you guys say hello and give her the support. So we will be back on soon. Take care, everyone, and have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Goodbye, everyone.